Do you know what? It seems to be like when you're winning, everybody's supporting you and loving you, and then when you lose, this is when the people come out of the woodwork and start racially abusing you and stuff like that. And we've seen it with the English football team when they were winning, when Sterling was scoring goals and stuff like that. Everybody loved England, and they were the best thing since sliced bread. But once they slipped up in the final, people started coming out of the woodworks and racially abusing the players, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe someone would stoop so low um, to hate on you because of the colour of your skin. Do you know what I mean? And although it's happened to me loads of times throughout my life, it just shocks me every time. Do you know what I mean? Because you think the world's moving on, and it's 2021 now. Do you know what I mean? So everybody should be getting on, and there should be no hate crime or racist slurs.
Welcome to the Lowdown, brought to you by Unibet. I'm Dev Sani, and joining me today is the unbeaten Belfast middleweight, the man who is knocking everyone out right now. There's, of course, Black Thunder Caoimhin Agyarko. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Dev. How's things?
Yeah, things are good. Things are good. I mean, firstly, congratulations on your last win. That is 5 stoppages in a row now. This boxing thing's going all right, huh?
Yeah, no, thank you. It's not going too bad. It's a good win last time out. Good performance. Obviously, I would have probably preferred more rounds and to showcase my skills a bit more. But we got the win, another stoppage, and we're on a good roll at the moment. So I'm happy enough.
Yeah, I mean, if you want more rounds, you just got to stop knocking people out, mate. So that bit of advice there.
Yeah, no, do you know what it is? I always say that, but then the same thing goes where you don't get paid for overtime. So if I can get them out as quick as possible, then it's a good thing. But I would like some competitive rounds or longer rounds, but it is what it is, and I'm happy with the KOs.
Good man, good man. Look, we can talk all day about your career, about this streak of 5 stoppages in a row, how you're going to go on to become a bit of a star in boxing. We all are behind you. We all believe that. The reason I brought you on was to talk about what's happened in the last few days, not only with you, but in the world. There seems to be, there's always racism out there, right? But it seems to have come to light since England went out, since Saka, Rashford and Sancho missed penalties, and then you yourself have been racially abused by a fellow pro. From your perspective, what's going on?
I don't know, Dev. Do you know what? It seems to be like when you're winning, everybody's supporting you and loving you, and then when you lose, this is when the people come out of the woodwork and start racially abusing you and stuff like that. And we've seen it with the English football team when they were winning, when Sterling was scoring goals and stuff like that. Everybody loved England, and they were the best thing since sliced bread. But once they slipped up in the final, people started coming out of the woodworks and racially abusing the players, and it's just not honest, not fair. Do you know what I mean? Everyone has to stand together. Everybody's human at the end of the day, and it's unfortunate to a small minority of people letting the fans down, letting their team down, letting everybody down. So it is very unfortunate.
And then with yourself as well, you woke up the other day to some racial abuse. I don't think we need to go too deeply into who that came from. I think he's got his own things going on. But talk me through how you felt and sort of how you dealt with it, because you put out this quite classy response, telling people, don't have a go at this guy. He's going through a lot, but he shouldn't have done it, kind of thing.
Yeah. Do you know what? For me personally, I know the reasons why I've done it. There's been a bit of heated exchanges between both of us for the last couple of years, and we fought each other in the amateurs. It was unacceptable. It made me feel a type of way because I haven't actually been racially abused since I got stabbed, since the night I got stabbed, and for him to racially abuse me and then wish that I had been stabbed in a different place and things would have went differently was a bit of a low blow, and it hit me. I've got very thick skin. I don't take things personally. You can call me any name under the sun, and it just goes over the top of my head. Do you know what I mean? But it was unfortunately for me to wake up and see them comments, and I did feel a type of way, and it kind of did get me down for a couple of hours. But I understood that. Sorry,
you're a popular man. Popular man.
I understood that that he's going through a certain situation in his life at the moment, and he made it, did it out of anger and whatever reasons, and I just asked for my fans, friends, and family not to be slating him or giving him any abuse, because if he is going through something, it's the last thing he needs, although his actions aren't justified.
And you mentioned this is the first time that you've been racially abused since you got stabbed. So that was a race-related incident. Is that you know that for sure?
Yeah, do you know what? The night I got stabbed, I can remember being racially abused. It's probably one of the only things I can remember. But yeah, I can remember being racially abused, and so when I seen them comments yesterday, because actually another fighter had actually sent me them from my DMs, because the guy's Twitter is private. So when I seen them, I was very disappointed, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe someone would stoop so low to hate on you because of the color of your skin. Do you know what I mean? And although it's happened to me loads of times throughout my life, it just shocks me every time. Do you know what I mean? Because you think the world's moving on, and it's 2021 now. Do you know what I mean? So everybody should be getting on, and there should be no hate crime or racist slur to anybody. So I was very disappointed when I seen it.
So what needs to change? I mean, you mentioned there it's 2021 now, and that we keep saying that. We keep saying, oh, it's 2021, it shouldn't be going on, but we're seeing it every day. We're seeing it every time a person of colour seems to fail. The colour of their skin is used as a stick to beat them with. But while they're doing well, they're celebrated as British. I saw this thing the other day about Amir Khan winning and losing. Whenever he won a fight, he was referred to as Britain's Amir Khan. And whenever he lost a fight, they sort of wiped that bit off. And they didn't call him Britain's Amir Khan. It seems to be a thing going on. How can this change?
Do you know what? I honestly, I ask myself that question all the time when stuff like this happens. Like, what can change in the world to stop it? And you know, I genuinely think that racism will always be a problem. It will never fully go away. And you just got to educate your kids, educate yourself. I feel like social media platforms need to take responsibility and maybe setting up some sort of way where they have to identify themselves or show some sort of identification to have a social media account, because most of it comes online, and you're getting all these fake accounts or these accounts with nobody's pictures and not the right names and stuff, and they're just allowed to go on and racially abuse somebody, and it isn't fair. So I think the big thing for me would be social media platforms taking a bit of responsibility and identifying everybody on their social media platform, because if not, people will just get away with it, and nobody will be accounted for maybe someone taking their life because they've been racially abused or harming themselves in any way, or leaving their job, leaving work, whatever it is they may do. So I think the big thing for me would be social media platforms.
And two things then. One, do you think they will? Two, why haven't they done it already, in your opinion?
I think eventually they will. I think if there's enough call for it, if there was a petition signed, or people stood together and genuinely asked for that, I think it could be done. Why it hasn't been done, I don't know. I would say it would take a lot of time for something like that to be put in place. But I don't know why it hasn't been done yet.
Yeah, I mean, you see these things like little. I've seen it mentioned a few times. If someone's talking about COVID in some sort of way, a warning pops up on your social, and people are pointing out, well, if that's popping up there, why can't they do it for racial abuse?
Yeah, exactly. Like that was put in place, and if you post something, whether it's negative or positive again about COVID, that will pop up regardless. So why can't you do that with racist comments? You know what I mean? It seems that Instagram and social media platforms can identify something about COVID very quickly. So why can't that be done with racist comments or some sort of hate crimes? You know what I mean? It's something that could potentially move in a forward direction where it maybe not wipes racism out completely, but it helps it a lot. And when people know that they can be identified, they're not going to come on social media and start slating people, do you know what I mean? Because they've got a reputation and they don't want to get caught, obviously. So it's something that definitely should be put in place.
So what that would do, that would stop the racists posting racist stuff, but it wouldn't stop the racists being racist. How and you talk about education. Do they want to be educated? Are we talking about 35-year-old Gav in the pub, you know, calling you all sorts, or are we talking about his son who's 7 years old and goes to school? Are we talking about trying to get him, or are we going to try and get Gav as well?
No, you need to get both. Do you know what? It's something like, how do you get someone like Gav to learn about the history, to be educated? It is very tough, but for the younger generation, definitely they should. Do you know what I mean? So that they're not brought up into racism and then stuck in a way where they only see one view and that's it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like everybody should be educated on it. Even myself as a black Irishman, like I should probably educate myself more on the history of black people and stuff like that. So I think everybody can learn something, and it's definitely something that needs to happen. Like I just don't understand how someone can go on social media and slate somebody because of their skin color. Do you know what I mean? And maybe a couple of days prior to that, you were celebrating them. Do you know what I mean? So it's a weird one for me. And I think a lot of it comes when people are maybe on drugs or drinking, and there's big events, and whenever the football match doesn't go their way, then obviously the drink and stuff like that will kick in, and they'll start racially abusing people online. But listen, nobody's born a racist. You know what I mean? So you can be educated on the matter, and you can always change. And I don't know what way to do it or how it's going to happen, but people do need educated.
I've heard you mention a few times your goal is to become Ireland's first black world champion. And I've seen you get a bit of stick for saying that as well. I don't know if you've seen it as well, but I've seen it on your post saying, why do you need to highlight that it's black? Why are you're bringing attention that you're segregating yourself from white Irish people? Talk me through that. What are your thoughts?
Do you know what? You're always going to get people who's going to give you some sort of stick, and I'm not going to be happy with what you say. But for me, I can create a bit of history, and I can become Ireland's first black world champion. I take a great pride in being a black Irishman. I'm half Irish, half Ghanaian, and I take a lot of pride in that. So for me to be the first black Irishman, that would mean the world to me. And people say, why do you have to highlight the black part? But why do I have to highlight the Irish part as well? Do you know what I mean? I can just be a world champion if that's the case. But for me, there is history to be made. So if I can make history and becoming the first black Irish world champion, I'm speaking that into existence. So I mean, I'm speaking on that and believing on that, and letting everybody know that this is my plan, and that's what I want to do. So I don't think I'm in the wrong in any way for stating I want to be the first black Irish world champion. Do you know what I mean? I'm a black Irishman, and that's what I want to do. But you're always going to get people with negative comments and saying stuff like, why do you have to state the black part? You're not going to please everybody. Do you know what I mean? So
a couple of things before I let you go then, Caoimhin. This whole conversation's about sort of racial abuse. There are abusers and there are the abused. What's your message to people online like yourself who are receiving racial abuse? And it's not just online, it can be on the street. What have you got to say to them?
Listen, you've got to keep the head up. Do you know what I mean? For me, everyone was messaging me yesterday and wishing me well and stuff like that. And I've got very thick skin, but for other people, they may not. And comments like that might get to them and affect them and their mental state. Do you know what I mean? So I just say keep the head up, always stay positive, embrace where you come from. I'm proud to be a black Irish. I'm proud to be half white, half black, and I wear that on my sleeve. No matter what anybody says, you can call me any name under the day, and I'll always keep my head high. So I'll just say embrace it, keep the head up, and always stay positive. And no matter what people say, take it with a pinch of salt.
And what about those who are hurling out the abuse, the ones who are writing messages online, the ones that are shouting names in the street? What have you got to say to them?
Educate yourself. Do you know what I mean? Educate yourself on the matter. become a better person. Try and learn to become a better person. Change your views. You know what's wrong. You know what you're doing is completely wrong. So yeah, I'll just say change your views. It costs nothing to be nice. If you've nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. And support your people. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't just support them when they're at the highs. Support them at the lows. And the main thing for me is just educate yourself.
How much is it on your mind that you are a black man, Caoimhin? When you walk into a room, do you feel it? Do you feel that, you know, if it's full of white people, do you feel that you're different, or do you not? How does it work?
Yeah, do you know what? Sometimes you do feel a bit different. Especially for me, I've grown up in Belfast since I was 7 years old, and when I moved here, there wasn't a lot of black people here or mixed race families here. So it was tough for me at the start. It was hard on my family coming here and growing up. And when you do walk in the rooms, you do feel like there's eyes on you, or you're kind of an outcast, or you're different. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you walk in the room and you feel welcomed and stuff like that. And the people I keep around me, they don't see colour. Do you know what I mean? No, everybody's the same. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's human, and that's what matters most to me. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like there's people that would hang around with people that would say certain stuff to make them feel uncomfortable, but not trying to do it in a malicious way. Like kind of jokes with a jag in terms of like saying racist jokes, but thinking it's acceptable because they're friends with people, and that would make you feel uncomfortable walking into certain rooms at certain times. So, for me, I don't keep people like that around me, but I do definitely feel a tip away when I walk into certain rooms, and that's because I am a black Irishman.
Right, look, thanks for opening up on all of that today, mate. I appreciate it. When are we seeing you next? When you going to get back to knocking people out? What's the plan?
Hopefully very soon. I'm going to sit down with my team in the next couple of weeks and plan out the rest of the year. We've got a couple of months left, and I hope to fight maybe September, October, and then maybe once before the end of the year. So I want to be as busy as possible and go into 2022, hopefully with a belt or fighting for a belt early 2022.
We look forward to it. Anything you want to add before I let you go?
Nothing at all. Dev, it was good to get a chat with you. Good to see you smiling as always. And hopefully we can catch up soon.
I'm sure we will. Thanks a lot, mate. Appreciate it. Speak
Thank you
soon.
very much, Dev. See you later. Bye.